Hey dudes, it's your friend, the Reverend Pirate Frog. Come join me in the circle with my bearded brother, Howlingbuds, the poet laureate himself, Stoney Alpinist, and of course, the better half of Frapple and my friend, Johnny Apple. Pass to the left and let's have some fucking fun. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a thrilling episode of The Circle. As you can tell by my excitement level, one of my favorite guests of all time is joining us, but I'm going to keep it I guess it's not a mystery. I put the fucking name of him in the title, but I'm going to start with Howling. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Hi, everyone.
Excellent. Stoney?
Wonderful.
Rolls down hills. How you doing?
Yeah, rolls, falls, climbs, whatever. Make my way down to the bottom.
I'll take that where you belong, where we all belong. Other than our guest, G3, who constantly brings us up. How are you doing?
Hello, my darlings. I am wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
Amazing to have you. And Johnny, my absolute favorite. How are you?
Go fuck yourself.
Just once.
I wanted her to feel at home, so that was my best monster impression.
I like it. The withdrawals, monster withdrawals are real.
It is. I need someone to start saying lemon cava.
There you go.
I did not
Unfortunately,
Cava tonight.
this podcast is very anti-Boston by virtue of my fandom. So you know it. I know it. Mission in the Green knows it.
You're anti a lot of states, Rev. How many states out of the Union are you morally against?
Well, as an anarchist, all of them.
I was
all of them. I would have liked to achieve my goal of insulting all 50 states, but I think I got two states back to back, and the hate mail was overwhelming. So I decided against it. No, I just forgot. I'll get back on it eventually. Don't sleep on you, Nebraska motherfuckers. I'm coming. I'm just kidding. I think I've already shit on Nebraska. Anywho. Thank you for joining us and bringing up the topics of this conversation that we plan on having. What is your least favorite state? No, I'm just kidding.
And why is it always Ohio?
Why is it always? Yeah, no, never.
As long as it's not the Big Apple, we're good. That's my least favorite
That's
state.
everyone's least favorite state. Yeah, my least favorite is California.
Yep.
There's a lot of qualifiers within least favorite. I mean, it could be, least favorite place to visit. I mean, there's still fun places to go, but an overall general least.
Would you say there are good places to be that suck to visit? I've never been like, man, this place is great, but I would sure fucking hate to visit here. Like, that seems like a strange thought.
Yeah. I suppose there's got to be something to Boise. I've been to Boise, Idaho. It wasn't that interesting, but I think
my sister lives just outside of Boise, and I don't understand the appeal either. So
there must be something. There's got to be something. I guess I'm an eternal optimist, but there must be something.
Yes.
Potatoes.
There is potatoes. There's farming.
We already covered off on one state.
A whole bunch of white people. There are so many honkies in that state. It's insane. But moving on to less ridiculous conversation and actually grow talk. I haven't heard from so many of you people, and we need to get caught up. So I'm going to just throw it randomly. G3, you're part of the group. There's no exception anymore. You've been a guest long enough. So I'm going to shotgun approach. Let's go Howling this time. You've got so much going on. Keep us updated.
The 4x4 is, I love it. I mean, I do as much as I bitch, and I think I bitch a lot. So I do like it. They're all the not a dump trucks are all touching. I guess I am complaining. They're all touching the light, but they don't seem super unhappy. So I'm just gonna fucking go with it. I have a choice. I could either let them burn up the tops and do the good for the rest of the plant, or try to fight it somehow and probably even cause a bigger mess. So they are what they are, and I think we're done with stretching now, but it'll be fun. They're starting to frost up. And then
the Johnny approach.
So you just went in and lollipop too, right?
I
How
did.
much defoliation have you got to?
Well, that's going to start this week. We just hit day 23, so so it was day 18 that I gave the lollipop, and I wanted to give him a little time to recover. But I think it's about time. I'm going to remove a lot of leaves. Humidity is not bad, but my dehumidifier just can't stop running, and it's right now it's on a bucket. So every once in a while, like I forget to go check it, and then it stops working. Next thing you know, it's 70% in the tent. So that sucks. But other than that, it's holding pretty good, even with that much plant in the tent. I say that I'll never do it again. I know that is a lie. I'll do it again, but I think I'll just have to change some things. And then what's going on? Oh,
what do you mean by do it again? Like fill a tent up?
Have four plants in those 2 beds again. Like I saw mixed reviews. Some people have had trouble with it, and some people just did just fine, or running like 3 plants in one of those. It's like 16 inches by 31 inches or something. It's not huge. It's not a 2x4 bed. And they did it. I was fighting, which also is going to make me think differently about these 2 HLG veg lights I have. I got them because they seem to work for what I want. But this is 2 rounds of solos now that started really showing deficiencies in light sensitivities really early on. So I don't know if my idea about light sensitivity at different color spectrums matters. And this is also why I purposely did not get a spectrum tuning light. As cool as they are, I will fuck up everything every run because I would not stop playing with it. And so I think these HLGs, I think using them, they do good for 2 weeks. And I've had now 16 solo cups under them. And they all start doing the same thing. They hit like day 15, and then they start showing deficiencies. And I've never had that in a solo cup before. And then that's why the 4x4 is overgrown, is because I had, ever since I transplanted into gallons, I was fighting, and then put them under a new light. I was fighting light problems the whole time. And so I had to wait for them to stop being sensitive. I didn't want to flip the flower when they were only getting like 200 ppfd, and that was the only thing that would make them happy. So I had to. Yeah, they did not handle it well whatsoever. I've never had plants like this, and I'm starting to see. So segueing into the 2x4, I have like 9 solo cups going right now for shits and giggles, and it's totally fun. But I ran them under the HLG lights to start with. I actually ended up taking those lights out 2 weeks in because same thing. They all start purpling up the stems. They show a bunch of weird sensitivities, even though the intensity is, I baby them. So I baby all my plants, and they just were not handling it. That's not me.
No, that's my dog.
He's pissed.
He's mad.
Yeah. You had me scared. I had my noise canceling earbuds in, so I don't hear shit.
No, I was like, God damn it,
man.
Dog barking. What's he barking about?
The key is get a dog that doesn't sound manly. So if you hear a big deep growl, you're like, that ain't mine.
Oh man, when she made me jump when she barked at. I was watching Yellowstone and they were on the horses, and she did not like that. And she's a TV watcher. She sits there and watches. And once those horses got on, I think we had like one bad experience in the forest preserve, and I just think that kind of made her kind of leery of the sound. She let out the biggest deep bark, and I was like, hell yeah, there you go. Fuck anyone trying to get through my window at night.
Dude, my parents' dog watches TV too, and any fucking animal that comes on the television, he barks at, which is in like every fucking commercial, dude. It is so annoying. Like my mom will be sitting at the shop, like on lunch watching TV, and the dog will just come by, see something and bark, and I'm just like, holy shit, dude. Like you can't be that dumb.
Yeah, well, if it was every animal, that would be different. It's just really about horses, and I don't know if it's the jingles on them and the snorting that they do once in a while, but it really throws her through a loop. So that was pretty funny. But the 2x4s do. I just think, going back to the 2x4, I think I have to recalibrate my understanding. My SOP, I think, is just I have to recalibrate that because it wasn't working the way I intended it to. 2 runs in a row, and the only thing that's changed is that light. So I've done everything else the same. So I think the next run the next run won't even be in there. I'm running all autos in the fall, all 10s, except for the 3x3.
Wow, you are gonna fucking complain the entire fall.
I am. Just wait for it.
That's why we made it. That's why we made this.
I wouldn't do it to myself.
Wolves
to be fair, though, I'm going to complain an awful lot in the fall too, because I'm growing all broadleaf and I'm growing a fuck ton of them because I'm doing the Alabrije Earth Box of Flavors technique.
Oh,
so I'm sticking fucking. I think he puts like 8 of them in one of those motherfuckers sometimes.
That's
so
chaos. Oh my gosh.
I think I'm going 6. I think so. Yeah.
All right, that's gonna be fun. As long as the ants stay away from them.
You don't get me started on the motherfucker.
Oh, we will. Oh, we're gonna get into it when it's your turn. So yeah, I think other than the 3x3, it's gonna be all photos. I'm gonna run all of a special wolf collection in the 4x4, and then I'm gonna run Drowsy in the 2x4. So it's wolves all through the fall. It's gonna be. I'm super excited about it. I just love the theme. There's gonna be little wolf plushies everywhere and wolf posters. It's gonna be awesome. You're gonna get sick of it.
I'm already sick of it. Johnny looked like he just threw up.
I was holding it back.
Yeah.
No. The last thing is the 3x3. That Peach Limon was also a sensitive one that came out from that light, and she got flipped almost 2 weeks later than everyone else, just because she wasn't drinking. She was healthy, but just nothing. It was like a stunted auto. But then all of a sudden she's like, all right, cool. I like life again. And she started growing. I think I complained and yelled at her enough, and she decided to get her act together. And she is the bushiest plant. I love her.
She's a bush.
It's just a mound. It's just rounded. It's although like I look today and there's a couple colas in the middle kind of shooting up a little bit.
Those two pictures, those two of the past 2 days, though, look like you've manicured like one of those bush spheres that they do.
That's her.
So cool.
And that I was expecting a tall, lanky thing, so that's why she went in that tent. I was preparing for it, and
it's disappointing, but
oh no, I'm super thrilled. It's going to be great, and she smells awesome, and she's super. She is probably one of the healthier plants I've grown to that size. Like she is showing nothing wrong anymore, and she has cool variegated leaves. Like ever since from her cotyledons on, like they've been variegated. There's at least 1 or 2 leaves that are variegated. It's pretty awesome.
That is really cool.
That's enough of me gushing. I haven't complained enough. And before I start, I think someone else should talk about their garden.
Okay, pick someone.
Johnny.
Great. What a great.
I fucking love that tangy.
I mean, what a natural conversation that was. We'll just jump into Johnny's. Yeah, so Tangy. Fuck Tangy, man. She's
she's great.
Don't say such horrible things about my girl.
mean, look, she just doesn't even want to be in the tent anymore. She's just like, fuck you, lights. I'm past you. I'm out.
That's Tangy.
She just wants to leave me.
I'm glad. You know what? If there's ever a good test for the photo version of Tangy, she's showing it. Like, that's her. Yeah. She don't give a shit. She's going to get tall.
Yeah.
It's exactly what you wanted her to be. Do not
big
forget.
Time. But I really wish I was capable of flipping that about a fucking week sooner, because luckily I only had 3. So I was listening to you say you had 4 in there. I was like, fuck, I couldn't imagine. Shit, I would have definitely flipped sooner though.
He told me to wait 2 weeks. Don't listen to him.
Yeah, Jesus.
I told him to wait 2 more weeks from when he flipped too. But I will point out, that was solely for this exact situation. Now, just it would have been funnier 2 weeks more fucking misery.
Yeah, so we all got if there was only a couple more inches or a week earlier, we all crave something, and we won't learn.
Well, the thing is I went into this. I don't know what pissed me off. Is I went into this grow like, all right, I got something to fucking prove here, because I feel like I've Johnny'd the shit out of everything, and I got to show people I actually do know what the fuck I'm doing.
You're fucking showing it.
Not gonna fuck around and just grow these goddamn things, and she's doing all right.
Oh, bravo, because you're doing that.
So I took cuts of. I got 4 of them here. I of the 8 that went, I wasn't interested in the 4 at Dad's. They're less tangy-esque in flower or in veg. So their leaf structure is not what I'm looking for out of tangy. So I didn't even take cuts of his. But of the 4 that I took, one of them just fucking rages when you take cuts of her, man. Just like put her in there 7 to 10 days. She's got spaghetti noodles out the fucking peat cube. So took really good note of her. And then the one I got in the 2x4 in that earth box, she's fucking like her leaf structure is the best, and I don't have a cut of her, but she's like rounding out the stretch and flower, so she's starting to Guy Fieri on me, so I might have to monster crop her. But and when I took cuts of her, she didn't root the greatest. She was like a 14-dayer, almost fucking a little bit longer. So it was like, this might suck when she's in flower and I got to try and take a cut to fucking root. But, yeah, I didn't keep any. Those all went to buddies that grow outside. So I had to send them off with a warning.
Could you imagine Tiggy outside? Holy crap.
That's what I was, give them some headspace.
Got it. Next thing you know, you got big ass evergreen.
Well, here's the thing: is the fucking humidity in the fall around here gets insane. You almost inevitably end up with botrytis. You just fucking. It's just there's nothing you can do. You can blow a fan on them and leaf blow them all fucking day long, and it's just the next day you go out there, it's like fuck.
I don't know how people do it. Like even around here, it's 80% to 100% humidity at night. Like, what are you? How? I don't know how they're doing it. I mean, I know some people do, but wow, that is some challenging. Like I'm sitting here complaining to get down to 55.
Yeah, and Croptober. Yeah. Croptober is not the fucking Croptober around here.
Yeah, we start getting those like where the nights where you wake up and there's like full beads of water hanging on every single plant in the morning time, and then out of nowhere it'll do a frost and you'll see the temperature starts with like those. By the time that harvest comes around, I have no idea how anyone can grow actual cannabis. I know hemp, they do a lot with breeding around hemp around here for it.
But they're not doing that for flower though, right?
Oh yeah, because they're doing fields here, large scale production. They do
the same timeline.
Yeah, actually, well, they've done a bunch of work. Actually, there's been a ton of work done for this area for fast flowering genetics, specifically for that in the CBD realm. Some University of Illinois studies have been done around here too, and these are like large scale mass production of it for CBD extraction, and then the lower aspects, so like they use the top of the plant is for the CBD extract. Then the lower 2/3 are used for more of the fiber and pulping and all of the other byproducts around it. So some extraction is done from like the second tier down, but not as much. But they grow it for both purposes. But in the end, if something happens with the crop, they just throw it all into fiber production. So yeah, and they develop those sorts of strains, but it's all weather dependent, and they try and get them out as But these are acres and acres of it. So if you lose 10% of your crop to botrytis, then it's not that big of a deal, Yeah. But like the home growers that
probably expect, like most farmers expect some sort of fucking crop loss. Like you see puddles in every goddamn cornfield that sit there and there's no corn going through that puddle.
There was a post on Baker Creek Seeds. They lost an entire field to flash flood. Jesus, like a seeding field. So it happens, it just happens, and it's terrible. And we see that out here in the corn production and the soy. Those open fields will just get massive. So, when I think about home growers because here in the state of Illinois, you can't grow home grow outdoors. It has to be kept behind locked doors. So if you're doing it a little bit on the clandestine side, or you're taking the risk. So you're not growing a handful of seeds out. You've got a few plants that you've got stashed somewhere. I don't know how they deal with it. I don't know how anyone can. It's crazy. It's crazy. Even right now, I mean, this morning is 55, something like that, 54 degrees. Super early. Yeah. And then it got up to like 80. So we get 30, 40 degree temperature swings. Like, I think the genetics, especially in the autoflowers, are so babied. I mean, if you see some of those land races that were, it's always fun when you see those the posts come up from High Times in like the 60s and 70s where they show the top buds, and they just look horrible. And it's all the original land race and the THCs, nowhere. And it's like, we really have hybridized our genetics so far that there is super sensitive, to the extent of like autoflowers may be the crowning glory of sensitivity on a lot of them. But yeah, I think over the decades, we've just gotten some really sensitive, and then you try and throw them outdoors. That's why I think there's few breeders that are doing and they're really focused on outdoors. And like Gnome does an intensive focus on it. But you really
for
have
autoflower specific, you mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But see, I still feel like there's such a short window on them that if you planted like mid-June, you could be harvested before most of that.
Yeah, that's what I think they focus
like
on.
Planting before. Yeah, I think it's time frame.
They make them really hardy and then they make them short. I
Yep.
think that's the key to it, is to try and keep them out of that seasonal.
Yeah,
and to
I
be
think
able
it's
to,
ideal, especially for like our areas, or for getting them fucking spikes and shit.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more of a hobby grow. You know, if you're, as long as you don't count on it. I see folks, because to me that's
all I'm
just
doing
terrible.
now is it's just fucking.
You know, you put all that work in.
Outside is just because I fucking can.
Yeah. Or
I just can't tell you how many plants I've lost to frost.
I hate you so very much right now.
Your cold eyes don't count, dude.
Sorry, I'm just sitting over here listening to this, and I'm like, you poor bastards, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
But you're
thinking,
right.
Oh boy, I gotta go chip my freezer.
I mean, well, but think about it. Think about our flowers and our tents that we do as home grow. Like, once we create our environment, that environment makes minor swings. Yeah. Look outside in nature. You know, like the other day we had a 40 degree swing, and humidity was like 40% change. Like,
you did that. I'm looking at my peppers like, why aren't you growing? Why aren't you growing? There is a dog in my yard, and it.
Is it not yours?
It is not mine. Hey.
We got all sorts of pooches going on.
It's a dog kind of night. What is going on?
There's a yellow lab in my yard, and I don't have a yellow lab yet.
Yet.
Yet. You do now.
She's got a collar on.
How? I didn't realize that your den was so close to your yard.
So if you were looking at the picture to the left is where, if you were to, that one I sent, like, of the demolition happening, the lounge is right there to the left.
Ah, okay. I get it now. Yes.
It's like it's basically where I was standing taking the picture. It was just to my left.
Ah, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. So yeah, I can see most of my garden, and I'm looking at this dog right now, sniffing my peppers and my mulch. That's so funny. Anyways, so there is actually a couple plants out there. One of them happens to be this clever little cut that wouldn't take root. And I stuck her and her peat cube and everything, threw her right in the worm bin. And then I unzipped that worm bin a few days later, and she had spaghetti noodles coming out that fucking peat cube. So
what was she a cut of again?
Hella jelly.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so the Hella Jelly mom, man, she was strong. And I didn't realize when I took the cuts of her, I was like, oh, I'm just going to take some cuts while I'm taking these tangy cuts, yada, 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 see how everything's going while I'm selecting my mom and see how she does. Well, she was on the down slope, and I wasn't catching it. She was on the down slope of fucking health. I think she had another fucking fit with spider mites. And then I think the soil finally was like getting hungry, because I don't think I have yet to top dress that fucking bed, if I remember correctly. So I threw a bunch of fucking like Roots Organic like tea shit in this huge bed that I had laying around that I didn't want to go to waste. I just sprinkled a bunch of that shit on there because it's almost micronized at that point. You know what I mean? It's like really fine powdery shit that you're supposed to like brew a tea with. But I was like, fuck, man, a quick top dress with that shit, water it in, she'll love it. She's still recovering, and I hacked her way back. But anyways, the cuts, they didn't really, I had one of them take root, and the rest of them ended up in the freaking worm bin. So I was excited to see her have some roots. So I took her and put her outside to see how she's doing. And then another one that, instead of going into the worm bin, it went into a pot of this weird plant my grandmother gave me. She's had for like 40 fucking years or some shit, probably even longer. She's had it like everywhere. She lived in New York, then she went to South Carolina with it, and then fucking Ohio with it, and now it's back here in New York, and it's sitting in this 15-gallon pot that I had. So I stuck this unrooted. I was like, oh, let's see what you do outside. Let's see if Mother Nature can fucking make you root. And the leaves all perked up, and she's fucking praying every day. So I think she might root. I don't know if she has yet. When I start to see some growth, then I'll know she's rooted. But she's alive, and she wasn't doing good in the cloner. So it's fun to see what Mother Nature can do sometimes. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, one good rain. What one good rain will do.
Yeah,
it's how amazing just like rainwater will do.
It's really it's so crazy. It's like I've been watering with the hose, and then they get a fucking good rain day, and then the next day it's sunny.
Yeah.
As soon as that comes up and gives them a day, they're like, poof, God,
take off.
It's like, what is it with the rain that's not my fucking garden hose? It's funny.
It's magic. It's water.
Only slightly less plastic.
I have a rubber garden hose. I think.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
But who knows? It sits out in the sun and bakes, and it's probably fucking.
Good
Plus, it's my well water. It's gross, man. They were fucking happy to get a fresh of fucking rainwater. So, yeah, but no, then so I've got the mom I have selected from the Tangy and Hella Jelly cut in the prop tent that I got, that little 2x4. I got one of those Trader Grows, the fucking Autopot Trader Grows, man. So I was like struggling to keep up, and I have always struggled to keep up watering solo cups. If I take a bunch of cuts and shit, and I'm trying to hold out and have a mom and yada, 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 I can't keep up with the watering on these things. So I've been really interested in that Trader Grow for just that reason, to see if you could just drop your solo cup on it with some holes in the bottom, and dude, it works fantastically. The roots just come out that solo cup and they start to fucking spread. Yep. I was going in there. So the first day I went in there, I go, okay, the solo cups are still wet. Second day I go, okay, maybe they're just not drinking. And then the third and fourth day, and the fucking cups, even on the top, were still moist. I was like, dude, this thing fucking actually works for exactly what I needed it for. But I did have one cup that dried out on me. So you do have to kind of like check them every now and then.
Every one of mine has a crystal in it now. It just gives it like 40 more grams just to weight it down a little bit. And that's all it took. Like my problem was gone once I added a pretty decent sized crystal to every one of them, and it won't hurt the plant either. So perfect.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah. I usually don't add crystals to the solos, but yeah, I think I'm going to do it now. It just gives them just that little. It kind of like it brings them back to wet weight all the time. And it doesn't allow them to get to that dry weight. And then they just like separate from that pad a little bit, and it doesn't do what it needs to do. Just needs just a little bit.
Yep. Yeah, as soon as you create that little bit of air gap and the cup dries out a little bit, you're screwed.
Yep.
Yeah. You gotta have.
Just wait until you flood your room, because isn't that what happens with all the auto pots?
I'm sure. And I got this thing. Well, I have this up on top of my fucking tote that I have to water or fill my dehumidifiers. My RO water is like a big 40-gallon tote that's like half full so that it doesn't bulge out the sides. And then it's on top of that. So when shit hits the fan, I'm gonna have like 25, 26 gallons of water all over the goddamn. So it's
I went to Home Depot and got one of those, like it was like $20 or whatever. It's a little water alarm, and it sits.
Oh yeah, they have them for the water heaters. Yeah,
it sits right on the floor of my tent. And like, even if I'm like accidentally hand watering something and a few little drops get near it, it'll start going off. And so I leave it in there because it's louder. It's louder than I would say like a smoke alarm, or as loud as a smoke alarm. And so, and I'm home more often than not. So it's one of the things that helps me feel better. But and to that reason, I don't put more than about 5 gallons in my res, because a whole 5 gallons will hold in a 5x5 bottom of like an AC Infinity, like the way that it's cupped up. It's at least one little barrier that I have. But those water alarms are worth it. They're only like $16-18, and peace of mind for next time it goes off, especially if you have a huge res and you're filling it up and leaving it.
Yeah. So I'm not overly concerned, because I have, except for the 2x4s, I probably should elevate those, but I'm in my garage, so like it's gonna run out and Even though I did build and I like closed in my garage door because it's not being used as a garage and I wanted to insulate. So I fucking framed it out with R19, but it's still got pressure treated underneath it. It's like I was fucking, if water runs out that way, it'll eventually go.
But it's pitched, right? It's a garage, so it'll pitched out to the driveway no matter what. So you're solid with it. But and my basement has floor drains, which is beneficial. But even then, I have to there's rugs and stuff down because it's just a hard cement.
Yeah,
covered
floor drains in the floor drains in the basement. It's good for killing, I guess.
We just hose it right down.
Yeah, right down the drain. Is that
you just put a little filter right over the top, catches any extra that little extra.
I always forget that every place you look for, you specify
subterranean
floor drains in
must be subterranean, must have floor drains. Sump pumps, dude. Do you know what a sump pump is?
Oh yeah.
Just runs.
I don't have to use one, but yes.
Yeah. I have mine are constantly running. I have two. I have one in every in fucking both corners of the house. Mm-hmm. They have to.
All mine grows over in that area, just in case because of that. I mean, that's one of the things. There's a lot of electrical over there too, and then I have to run from a couple circuits from around the basement to get all the power to it, but. Try and keep everything back in that same area so it's all together. Keeps a nice temperature too.
Yeah. So I did stick a tangy cut out there, but she was like really not there. So she had developed, that calcium knuckle when you're seeing on a rooted clone or whatever, they start to develop this like calcium really thick and then they fucking spray out there. So she had this, but then she never let roots go. And then she was getting hungry, too much lights or leaves. And I took that thing and I set it outside. And even that thing is coming back to hey, if that actually roots, I would be freaking, but she's also underneath the broccoli. So that's probably dumb. Anyways.
That's an odd companion plant, but
Brassica!
Yes!
Brassica!
My garden, dude, I have no, there isn't a garden club. People around me don't do it. I'm the only freaking old man that, in my network of people, I say, other than this community, nobody gardens, so I can't bend somebody's ear hey, where should I put the sage? Should I put it next to the rosemary or should I just let the lavender do it's my apple trees? Dude, my garden is very much my personality. If you were to look at it, you'd go, yup, it's Johnny's garden.
I can see that. I've seen pictures and it's beautiful always. I'm not going to let you get away without talking about the fact that you cheated recently on me and entertained a guest. Tell us a little bit about that, you sumbitch.
It wasn't me.
Excellent defense, I'll allow it. I can't argue with that.
Straight away.
Yeah.
Are you going to believe your eyes or what I tell you?
I believe what Shaggy tells me.
It wasn't me. Nah, Grateful came over for the weekend. He had to bring so I had strawberries, man. So he came to pick up his strawberries and drop off. Nama Potters had some more mugs for us.
Shout out Nama Potter. Shout out Grateful, of course.
And so he stopped in for the weekend and he slept under the night of the apple or the light of the apple.
Yeah, he was
right here. Actually, his fucking cot. I'm so lazy. His cot's still fucking folded up here. I should probably put that away.
You just wanted it around for the memories.
Yeah, no, he was a cool dude, man. He was making a reel with Nerd Grows, and they had business and a bunch of shit. And I think there is a giveaway. They're doing on their Instagram. Check that out. But he was not far from me. So he's like, "Oh, just keep on fucking coming, man. If you don't mind." I was like, "Have at it, man." So
dude.
Yeah,
that's right. You live
a lot.
You live close to a lot of those people. We're gonna have to start instituting a Highlander policy. So you're gonna have to start taking them out, dude.
Well, I was thinking we should start charging for Johnny autographs.
Don't
cameos.
What?
Yeah, cameos. What? I mean, we're famous now. We got G3 on the show and shit. We gotta be famous.
Oh,
Jesus.
So.
Oh God, I've never been so turned off by a human being so quickly.
Look, come visit Johnny. You can stay in his lounge on his cot. For $50, he'll sign a fucking cameo for you.
It's an Airbnb cameo. We got
I pay you $50.
Yag!
You better do a whole lot more than just sign your goddamn name on something.
We'll just call it Air Yag.
Yag!
Air YAG.
Oh my god!
But there was an
G3.
abundance of cannabis consumed over the weekend.
Oh, good. Sorry, I didn't know you.
I would hope so.
I know. I thought that was implied. My apologies. You smoked a ton of pot with our beautiful, grateful gardener, and I'm jealous and hurt. But it's okay because.
But it wasn't me. It really didn't happen.
It wasn't you. I believe you. It was a great argument. I can't disagree with you. G3 finally. After 30 minutes of sitting through our nonsense, will you please enlighten us of the current state of your garden and or your recent harvest? Because I know you were growing that. I just brain farted on the wolf. Did on purpose.
Drowsy.
Mango?
That's right. No, not
Drowsy,
mango.
yeah.
Drowsy, yeah.
Yeah. My poor Drowsy. I did not do her justice. Yeah. She's beautiful. And Alebrijes, no matter what, they always show up. No matter what you do to them, they always show up. So I kind of wrote her off a little bit in the beginning. She was fine. She was bushy. She was growing real well. And then I kind of forgot about her for a week. And I was probably 3 to 4 days late on top dressing her. And she was angry about it. And she told me so.
Oh, no.
So she's what
was
really
she in?
Yellow. And she's in the autopod system.
So 3
she
gallon,
still has
5 gallon?
water enough. Oh, yeah, she's 6.6 or something.
Really? And she needed top dressing?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, those autopots
absolutely.
they drink so much.
Chew through them, and I give her Terps
Holy
Plus
shit.
too, so she just chews through newts. So yes, I have to top dress multiple times, and sometimes this round I was just late, and she just was like, "I need more, I need more, I need more." She was hungry from the beginning. I just couldn't keep up. So if you've got a Drowsy, watch her nutrient intake. Because if you fall behind, it's really hard to catch up with her, which I'm kind of running into. But her buds, they grow in the most interesting way. They have these long, spindly little things, and then they just bulk
Fox
out.
belly.
No. The whole thing just almost overnight, it seemed like there were no buds. There were just these spindly hairs on nothing. And then all of a sudden, there's you look at it and I'm like, holy crap, there's density to that. There's something to that. There's something there. And it happened practically overnight. So she's going to be beautiful regardless.
I caught that in the Steve's Purple Acid, the one that I've got most recent now. I wonder if it's a similar trait to it where I was like, I don't know, this thing's looking pretty small and it's going to be okay. And then I came down and it was the thickness of a can of Coke. It was huge.
Yeah, came out of nowhere. It's where did these buds even come from?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they're still growing. She's going to be great when she's done. She's just the wrong hue.
Oh, well. Who are you to say it's wrong?
Are you getting Terps yet?
No, not really. I mean, maybe. Honestly, I haven't really spent a ton of time in there.
Yeah. That's what I'm at that weird stage too where I'm not getting much terps where I'm waiting for Tangy. When I open the fucking door to the house, you just know she's around. Mm-hmm. So I was curious.
It's definitely not an opening that I just haven't gone in and molested her yet, to rub all over her and see what she smells like. When you open the tent, she's just a plant. So
yeah.
We'll get there. Yeah, I need to pop some more seeds, and I kind of have an idea of what I want to grow again, but I'm just kind of ugh. There's an ebb and flow to growing, and right now I'm ebbing real hard. So there's just so many other things going on in my life. I just need to pop the seeds, and then the autopots take care of everything. So.
Yeah, that's that fucking 2 week, 3 week commitment times, man. It's a lot. It is.
It can seem daunting at certain times. I think everybody goes through it, especially, the more harvest that you're under your belt, you're just exactly what you have to do. And you're just man, I really don't want to start that right this second, you know? Like,
Yeah, because you're like,
Yeah.
when you're an indoor grower, it's not like you're waiting, like you didn't go through the winter time where you've ate all this shit you fucking harvested in the fall, and now fucking spring's starting to come, and you're excited to get your fucking plant started and get outside. No, for us, it's like we're always planting fucking seeds.
It's like another one. It's like, I don't want to mix any more soil. To tell you the truth, I just don't want to do it right now. But I will, because I love growing. And once you get past those first 2 weeks, it's brilliant. If I could actually get my ass in the tent once in a while, which I will.
it is
So-
always a human problem.
I thought I had a half a jar of mango smile. No, I know I have a half of jar of mango smile somewhere, and I cannot find it to save my life.
No.
And it's driving me insane. So now I
Captain
have to
Autoflower
plant a
took it.
mango smile. Maybe.
Cap took it.
You take
I
the
blame
mango?
Cap.
Oh, he don't listen.
No, don't worry.
Shit.
But yeah, it'll
um,
show up, or I'll just grow another. So I think that's
He's going to be on the podcast when you guys come back, and he's going to be like, yeah, I found this mango smile I've had from like, must be a couple years now.
Oh my God.
You're gonna be like,
You disappear
Son of a
from the
bitch.
screen, and at the
Yeah.
end of the show, I'll show up
Reappear.
at his house.
Yeah.
just choking him. It's a small world,
Mango
motherfucker.
smile.
Give it back.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Yeah, that's I hate that. I constantly see the difference between me and you, G3, though, is when I lose something and I think I'm like, no, I know it's still there. It is never there, right? I've totally lost it, and I'm like, no, I used the last of it or something, but I remember having it. Whereas you, I actually believe there's a half a jar somewhere out there.
It's got to be somewhere. I went through every single one of my other jars, and they're all still labeled. And I smelled every single jar in my entire house, and I can't find it.
Oh no.
That would have been pretty funny to witness. Just no.
Seriously?
No.
I mean,
No,
if there's
dude,
one
I've done it.
plant I can find by smell alone, it is mango smile, and
That's
it
true.
just like went through my whole cabinet. Of like, God damn it, where is it?
I when I was trimming the Tangy Wedding and Tangy, I put them in two different totes and I mislabeled them, and I was just like, oh fuck, and then I opened it and realized, oh, the Tangy Wedding has some purple in it. Like I'm not gonna forget that, but it was like so funny. Not like, how will I ever tell? And then I opened it and I was like, oh yeah. Dumbass.
I only grew them for the past 3 months. I'm
Yeah, I
intimately
think I can
familiar
fucking
with
tell.
them. I can
Yeah.
figure it out.
Yeah. So that is why I say yeah, it's totally possible for that jar to still exist.
I hope so. I'd really
If
like
not,
to
we
find
can
it.
just
So what
go
are you
find
smoking
it.
on then? If you're missing
Yeah.
a jar of mango smile, what are you?
I actually, this is kind of funny. We're like kicking it old school a little bit. I have purple Pantarania and strawberry wedding tonight.
Oh.
So
That
those are
purple
two
was
things that I found in the
fantastic, too.
jars. Yes, she's really fun. I like her a lot. She's
That
very
was one of-
contemplative.
That was one of the like really pretty grows that you had, and I remember because God, we were talking about, I think we were talking with Alabrije when you were growing that, and we pulled up pictures when we were talking to him afterwards, and it was just one of the most gorgeous plants I'd seen in a long time.
Oh, thank you.
He was
She
bragging
a
about it on
joy.
the episode. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, she was a pleasure. So anybody who has those seeds, I highly recommend you grow them. They are wonderful from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still enjoying it. I don't have very much left of her. This is like almost the last.
I have one. I always keep like one nug that's like probably the tip top of the cola that's still sitting there, and it's like one good solid joint's worth. But I swear I'm just saving it for a special occasion. But that stuff is incredible.
So I gotta ask, what's it in? Because every time I find those in my fucking quart-sized jar, that one nug is fucking toasty by the time I fucking smoke it.
Yeah.
I gotta.
I'm terrible
applaud
about that, man. It's like I save it and I save it and I save it, and I finally go to it and I'm like, God, what the fuck? I should have smoked
It's
this
just
like 2 months
CBN,
ago.
Just
Yeah.
dusty CBN. Creamful.
I gotta applaud your patience, but it also saddens me that you haven't found an occasion to celebrate in that time, because I'm of the mindset that waking up every day is a celebration. So my shit goes like that, dude.
Well,
I try and save it for a special occasion, and then I get
True
an hour
California
in, and I'm
hippie
like,
style.
"Well, it was pretty fucking special to still be here, I guess." I can't be patient with that shit at all.
I'll smoke it tomorrow, dude. I'll smoke it tomorrow in your honor, brother.
Oh, well, please do.
I thought I
Smoke
was
it all.
weird for saving.
Make some
saving
terrible.
those.
You
I
think
I
want
have
you to.
every-
I want you to
every
wake up.
plant.
You are
roll
weird.
that joint
Oh.
and
yeah.
grab your surfboard and head to the fucking coast while you smoke that purple Montana, would you?
Yeah,
Stoney?
do that. That's a short walk.
Yeah. I think
Wait,
I got
is
a
it?
popsicle
Mhm.
stick.
No,
There you
it's
go.
the
It's
longer
only
Grab
like-
your popsicle stick and head to your coast.
The coast is only like probably an hour from here, less than an hour from here. I'll be
Oh.
in
on.
an airplane, maybe.
I can
in
be
an
on the
airplane.
waves. What are you talking about, bro?
Ain't no coast in the central
The
part of the
mid-coast
world.
is
There's
man.
never
sand
far
on
away.
there's sand on the North Beach.
There's
Dude,
waves,
there's
there's
sand in
sand.
a
It's
desert.
deep.
There's waves.
Right?
There's sand. There's
I-
questionable contaminants. I mean, it's an ocean.
Is there a tide?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just,
Mhm.
you know what
think it's
saddens
gotta
me
be
the
And
salt
it's
most.
just
water.
not salty. That's
I think
Right.
it's
Very
supposed to
good.
be salt water.
What saddens
An
me the most
ocean.
is like I had such great memories of my elementary school teachers, and especially in the science and geography classes, and they were wonderful teachers. And it saddens me that they failed you so much, Stoney, that you couldn't remember what a coast
I was
was, and
confused
it
what an
wasn't
isthmus
your
is.
fault.
I can't even fucking say it. Isthmus or
Hey,
isthmus
you know,
or-
I'll give you a secret. The only reason I know what an isthmus is because Catalina Island, just off the coast of me,
Is a
has
fucking
place called
isthmus?
Two Harbors and has an isthmus. Yes,
Mm.
but
See? I learned enough to know what I don't know, my man.
well, that is a constant. Yes. So G3, you have you're slightly upset at you, but still going to turn out good. Lame wolf strain. Just kidding, Calabrier.
The
Is that
silky
all
wear
that's
cow.
going right now? You just
That's
finishing
really
up with
it.
that? Right
Yep.
on. And then we'll
Basically
get you
that.
the motivation to plant here soon.
Yep. We'll see what it is, but it's going to be definitely a mango smile. Maybe we'll do a blueberry limeade again. I really liked her.
Ooh.
So.
Sounds delicious.
How did your night owls come out? Your night owl mangoes.
They are fabulous, actually. Each one of them is unique and different and amazing. Even the two mango isles are very different from each other.
No shit.
And they have probably the chillest effects. They're just like happy, chill, even keel. Love the mango isles. Mango myrrh is gorgeous smelling. She's like high and bright and floral and just lovely. So lovely. I just open her jar. I'm like, oh, she's so nice. So yeah, enjoy her a lot. And then Mandela effect, she fucks me up. So I have
Isn't
to
that
be
the
real
one you like a
careful.
lot?
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
have to
she
be real
does.
careful when I use her. Because
She's,
I can't need to do any adulting after that.
yeah.
Really?
The-
I'm interested now. I kind of want to find a strain that does that. 'cause
She's a haze, dude, and
Yeah.
she's like the amnesia haze, and she's fuck, dude. She just like she's very narrow leaf and like you're not gonna pass out and fall asleep.
No, she makes
You're
me
just-
wander around like an
Yeah.
idiot.
You're motivated to just be a dumbass.
Yes.
I like it.
I move a lot. I walk a lot.
Yeah.
Like my house basically is a circle in the middle. I can just wander circles for a long period of time. And all of a sudden my watch is like, your activity is done for the day. I'm like, God damn.
Would
Yeah.
you like to
Do
record
anything.
these 42 laps?
Oh yeah, dude.
And I just
it'll
wander
drive
around
Megan
thinking, I'm like,
gnarly. Yeah.
oh, I got to do this. Oh, I got to do that. And I'm just like moving from place to place and not accomplishing anything.
Welcome to my world.
It's like, it makes my ADHD
It would
way
probably
worse.
have the. I was gonna say it would probably have the opposite effect on me. Actually.
You might just pass
Maybe.
out and never wake up.
Yeah.
You'll just get cured. You'll just be like, I'm normal now. What the fuck?
Well, wow, you guys are boring.
Well, we got to get to Stoney before we get out of here. So Stoney,
Mhm.
Oh, this
what's going on in your garden?
I love this time of the garden, the season in the garden in there, because it's everything's sparkling, everything's pretty big. It's down to just starting to flesh out the buds all the way. So I've got structure on all of them. I know, like right now, the Smoky Stash is probably the most dense amount of bud structure that I've seen yet so far. The Guava Punch is massive in the skinniest leaves I've grown so far. There you go, Howling, skinniest, thinnest leaves, however you want to call it. Probably the most sativa I've seen in this in my gardens yet. So I'm really, really excited about it. And she's just wide and bushy too. Incredible sort of like crown structure to it. Nice. There's like 4 or 5 side branches that are perfectly level, and then this one nice cola blowing out in the middle of it. It's just really beautiful structure. The Compound V is got it was one of those that I was like, oh, it's just going to be a nice little bushy kind of wider, broader leaf. And yeah, not really. It's took off like in the last 3 or 4 days. I gave him a compost tea, let's see, 3, 4 or 5 days ago. That I brewed and used some of the FPE that I made from the apple tree in my backyard last year as the sweetener for it instead of the molasses.
What's FPE again?
Fermented plant extract. So I took leaves, and I mean, technically it's a FFJ and FPE because there was leaf litter in it as well. And then also took the fruit and extracted it with sugar. So just ground it up and chopped it up with sugar and then strained that all out and fermented it and then used that in place of the molasses this time. So
the addition of sugar, you have to probably balance that because too much will turn into alcohol, right?
Within the, how you mean, within the compost tea?
Yeah, within the ferment, I mean. You said you added sugar.
Oh yeah, it for sure. Yeah, so it definitely went past the fermentation stage. So it fermented itself out. It got really funky. Turned to the alcohol.
Started smelling like vinegar.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then
you made yourself a little cute kombucha there.
Mm-hmm. But it's sugary sweet. Yeah, it's sugary sweet syrupy. Mm-hmm.
Right on.
And I mixed it in with I used the Cocoa for the castings, which is the vermicompost. So not just the castings on its own. And then it was like 24 hours or so, and I got big, shiny, clear bubbles up at the top of the surface of it. So I drenched that one in, mixed in a bunch of other stuff for potions, some of the Nourish Owl. There was some bloom nutrients in there as well. And I think that's about all the goods. Photo Plus, SLF 100. So it got a good dosage of it.
You put those right in the tea? Oh, no, you said.
Yes. Yeah. So I make the tea.
Yeah.
And then mix it all together right before drenching.
Watering. Okay.
So I think it's like a day and a half I had the autopots off. And they were already kind of dry at the top of the surface anyway. So they were ahead of the game. So yeah, just drenched in a really good heavy soaking of it. And then 3 days later, they've just exploded and you can see them massively exploding from it. So yeah, that tends absolutely. The one thing that did come up that's been a little bit of a hassle is my dehumidifier conked out at me. Yesterday, I went down there and noticed that my humidity was in that 77% era. Yeah, a little bit sketchy. So all of the doors went wide open on it. I mean, and I caught it, so I'm sure it happened sometime during the day. So I had to do a quick bit of research again to figure out which one, because you can easily make the wrong mistake getting dehumidifiers. So I always say that the key elements that I always watch out for, gotta have the floor drain. So be able to hook a hose up to it somehow, some way. Otherwise, you're in there at least in a 5x5 like once or twice a day. The other key is when you're looking for them, they'll oftentimes, the lower cost models will only have 3 settings for dehumidification. So they're basically like a low, medium, and a high. And it's a really wide range. So that mid range is like something like 60 to 75 sometimes, or 60 to 73%. It's a really wide gap. So you have to look for ones that are like smart, or that you can adjust the humidity as you need it to by increments of single numbers. Those are the key. It's worth the extra like $40 or $50 when you're looking at it and you're looking at the two of them side by side and you're like, it doesn't matter for volume of tank. That's the one they try and get you on, is like they're trying to, like get a massive tank. Well, that's fine if you're just doing it in a room. But when we're doing it with our cannabis, there's so much air or so much moisture being kicked out from our plants. They're really like sweating quite a bit during the day. So like just get the floor drain. Like I think Howler, you were saying it runs right into the bucket. Like I do the same thing. I've just got a 5-gallon bucket that had a lid with a spout on it. I just run it right in. I keep my dehumidifier in my tent and I keep it just so it drains right out the side of the AC Infinity, like just kind of where the zipper is right around the hose. And then the other thing that I do, because sometimes you can get bugs or whatever. So I just take like a paper towel or something and just stuff it into the hole so it creates a, just an air gap or an air block, and then just double check it. Like I think I'll go through a peak like this when they're drinking a ton. I may go through a 5-gallon bucket every other day or so. So the key is not about getting like a huge, massive 44-liter tank for the water reserve, which is what they try to get you with. Go smaller, get the floor, and then just make sure you can adjust the dehumidifier by individual percentages so you can really dial it in. And I think the one I got was like covers 1,500 square feet, more than enough. A lot of times people think you can go smaller. The problem is if you go smaller, your dehumidifier is running longer and it's kicking out more heat. It's moving more air. It's
I have
a waste
my
of energy.
3,500 square feet running constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Do not go small at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
During high humidity, even in the lounge, the mini split, the air conditioner runs all the time just for fucking heat and dehu. So it's constantly. But so the thing I also watch out for too is in a tent, anything I put in the tent, can the light shut off?
Good call. No, in
Especially if
autos.
you're running photos. Yeah, in autos, something that you're not thinking about, but yeah.
Yeah,
you go to switch the photos, that fucking blue light on that humidifier, even though it's the tiniest little LED bulb, will fucking send your shit into a rye.
Yeah, so you end up having them bootlegged. I know, like AC Infinity has done a good job about being able to turn off all the displays and turn off all the lights, but no other manufacturer is thinking about that sort of stuff. But
Levoit, their automatic humidifier with the screen.
Yeah, that does. You can't get it to shut off.
Actually does fucking go into a nighttime mode. So, and I think it advertise it as like plant mode or whatever. So really, you hate those humidifiers, the Levoits?
I have 2 of them. They fucking suck.
I love them, man.
Well, exactly what you were just bringing up. Like you get a dehum that can do plus or minus like 1 or 2%. The Levoits are plus or minus 5%. And I will tell you that I thought I hated the AC Infinity sensors. I hate the Levoits even more.
Yeah.
They often
you have it setting on the ground?
No.
So it's elevated. My problem
is
mine wasn't kicking on enough.
No,
it was on the ground.
So it's
where all the humidity was.
Mine was over humidifying constantly. I have 2 different ones. I tried like 4 different positions of it. I could not get that and I've tried 2 different tents. I could not get that thing to work well for me. I bought 2 of them. I was super excited about it, and they let me down. The tolerances that they have on them and whatever sensor they're using is so slow. It's slow to pick up on the change. So, but then when it does pick up onto it, it's like really low, and now it over humidifies to try to overcompensate for it. It was a constant battle. I couldn't do it anymore. I went back to my Inkbirds on my generic. They're also Levoit humidifiers. I actually think the brand's really good.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. I probably would not go back to
those
the automatic
humidifiers.
I would get their cheaper version that only has the dial, kill the little LED that's on it, and fucking. AC Infinity has these fucking little cubes that you plug into a fucking outlet that makes any device monitor through your fucking.
Are you trying to heat your tent too?
69.
When it melts and causes a fire, are you trying to heat it too?
I just sent something to Howling about that exact thing, and
there's been too many people with this. No.
Yeah.
I have two
have
of them, and I don't
3
have
of
an issue
them.
with them.
I think it's a crapshoot.
Well, what do you
Just
run
some
through
people didn't have a problem with like the oscillating fans. Some people were fine with them, and I just think it's a crapshoot. And I also think some people may be using them for maybe more than they should be. And that's probably their problem.
I would imagine
a dehumidifier or a humidifier.
I would imagine that the vast majority of issues are when someone tried to pull way too much for what it's actually.
And they don't realize it. But they are extremely sensitive. They don't just like trip and like blow something and stop working. They will continue working themselves to a fire. They will march themselves right into that fire. I think that's the problem. I think that too many other things will pop somewhere along the line, and these outlets are not doing it. And I think people don't realize it's just like how Monster preaches about all the power consumption and being. You got to really watch out for
They're
it.
probably trying to run a fucking huge dehumidifier through that.
Well, they're running a 1500 watt heater.
Exactly. Yeah, they're doing
because that's one thing that AC Infinity doesn't have. Well, didn't have. Now they do, but they didn't have heaters for the longest time.
Although I feel bad for our homeboy who's running one, and like now it's just constantly going into overheat protection. It's like, I wanted that to work so bad because my lung room is the same room with my furnace, so it gets really cold in the summer in there, and trying to keep the heat just sucks. I'm really hoping for like these to turn out well. I think it's like such a cool solution. But I also don't trust the Generation 1 thing.
It'll just take a couple gens.
Yeah.
I think they're always trying to be at the forefront of innovation. They're always listening to it and trying to rush it out, and there's just not time for R&D and quality.
Well, I mean, and we also have to remember they're modifying technology for residential and commercial install HVAC and modifying it to put it into tents. And so there's going to be betas. There's going to be, they're not.
I'm happy that like the tech that they're using for this is, I mean, this is what they use in electric cars. The same type of heater that can heat up the battery during the winter so it can start. I mean, it's the same thing. They're just doing a small form factor, and they'll get it right. Like I love, like we all can complain about the Gen 1 fans, 10 fans, but you get the Gen 2s and I like them. Like I actually bought a 4th one out of my own pocket. I didn't have
really the other ones are better. They actually
they just
because I have a fucking pile of dead fucking AC Infinity.
No, just even brand new the Gen 1s. They were. I'm sorry, G3. What?
Do you have like your order stuff, Johnny? If you send in all of your information with your order, they will send you new fans.
Yes, even from Amazon, they will.
They'll replace anything.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
No shit.
I've already
replaced
fans
show up to me.
Brilliant customer service.
I'll give them I'll give the new ones a try on my own. I probably would.
I should have like a lot.
They're quiet and nice. The cheaper ones that Rev and I use, they make this. Even everybody who comes over here gets high. They sit there and go, "Yo, what the fuck is that sound, bro?"
It's great. Like, even the brand new, the Gen 1's brand new, even seemed like flimsy. Like you could just see like the stutter as they oscillate. Like they was pushing it. These, no, like they seem solid. They're fluid and they move, and then you can. I mean, they address some of the issues of why they burn out when you hit the tent sides. They address that, and I don't know. I like them so far.
Cool.
So far, so good.
Right. Yeah. I have like 2 of them left, but they act like hurricane fans now. The little clip-on hurricanes. That's what my AC Infinity Gen 1.
The clip-on hurricanes that don't fit any pole, and they have to be like in some awkward combination.
Always, yeah. But I use the shit out of those. I put them at the top of every single one of my tents, and they push that fucking hot air from the lights down.
Be a good use of them. I have mine at the bottom.
Put them on one
because I'm pointed up.
Yeah,
and they work well.
I do the opposite. I try to get the heat down lower. Yeah. Otherwise, your fucking fan just sucks it right out. It's like fucking use that. Give it to the pipe.
Yeah, I'm just trying to break through that. Like, even though it's only about 18 inches of canopy right now, it's pretty fucking dense. So I have fans pointed every which way. Trying to
dude, my 4x4 is the same way. I've got literally, and you can see wind burn on one of the fucking tangies. It's just like, whatever, man, I'll cut your.
I hear it. I walk into the lung room and you hear the leaf hitting the fan blades. And it's like, sorry. It is what it is.
I have a whole
You
branch
grew
that's
into
there
it.
getting
Off.
beat up that didn't even fucking try to flower. She's just like, what the fuck, man? There's a lot
But
of wind
leave it up to
here.
green guy's plants. It's not showing any signs that it's being slapped with a fan blade constantly. It's still, in spite of it, growing strong. But yeah, whatever. You chose that life, not me.
Every single grow always pushed just to the edge of basically windburn and back off. And this current grow, I fucked up because I turned my fan on and I left it low instead of raising it. So all my seedlings were like wind swept to the left. And I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I gotta oops. Fuckers born in a hurricane, motherfuckers.
I fucking hate fans in a tent with seedlings. It sucks.
Oh yeah, it is very funny. Because I always have more fans.
But what I would suggest is,
is
all my fans are on timers now.
Really? I rock them all the time.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
The only ones I don't rock all the time inside my tent is the hurricanes that push the fucking air around.
Even
my
the ones
oscillating
that are
fans,
no?
my oscillating fans, I put them on a fucking timer, man. Why? When they're sleeping?
How long do you let them
it's
run?
It's not windy all the time.
So you
so
do
I
it
do
when
like
there's
when the lights are on.
Spike.
I have one maybe that moves at the top that is 18.6, but it runs. I constantly have a fan on, but they're all on different timers, so they're not getting beat up at the same different place, and it's just moving.
So you go up, you go different. You don't just go air still box. You just fucking get fancy with it and start hitting them with different. You made it sound different. I'm sorry. You made
it like
seem
a prairie breeze, bro.
Yeah,
you're like an orchard breeze. It's like a patented orchard breeze technique in there, dude.
We're going to be bringing it in at northwesterly direction at about 2 to 5 miles an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
Until 2 in the afternoon, and then we switch over.
I've got all
trade winds are blowing.
I was gonna say he mapped out all the large body of water, and he goes, "Oh, at 5:45, the temperature by that body shoots down."
You're gonna do it now, aren't you? No, because I have all those old fucking push pin timers, man. Because I changed to I upgraded. They're all my timers are now. My triggers are digital. So I had all those old fucking push pin timers and shit. It's like, what the fuck do you do with those other than throw them in the garbage or collect them in your fucking junk drawer? I was like, fans. All my fans can be put on timers, and now I'm not beating the shit out of them 24 hours a day.
You got high and you wanted to play Wind God.
The wind doesn't stop at night.
Well, listen,
the sun went down and the wind stopped.
Let the wind blow through their
Johnny
beard.
goes in his house, weather
Some
stops.
people let it blow through their hair. I
don't feel the wind inside.
There's no wind at night.
Yeah.
Also, I did something else with timers. So I had a 2x4 that needed new lights as well. So, I did my fucking Mars Hydro bar style, took a shit. I upgraded with I bought new lights, but I got the Vipar Spectra like I did in all my other tents. So I did 3 and 3 in the front, 3 in the back, but I also had a 2x4, and that's the one I planted the Drowsy in. And instead of having the center light on when the other 2 lights are on, the center light is only on for 12 hours a day. So it's only getting beat from directly above for 12 hours a day. So the other 2 are on 18 and 6. So it's fucking, those lights are designed to 2 of them can fill a 2x4. I don't think it's enough light, and I don't think it spreads it out enough. So I put 3 in. So now the center light. And now this was born out of pure necessity. I don't have the outlets, and I didn't want to go buy any more plugs and connectors and this, that, and the other thing. So I have a power strip that would trip out if it turned 3 lights on at the same time. So I set this 3rd light on a timer that turns on at different times.
That is the solution to all electrical problems. Time the different
things. Rotate. You are Johnny number 5.
You can't run the microwave and toaster at the same time, and then you had to rub your belly and pat your. Yeah.
He is a trained carpenter. He can handle
carpenter. Carpenter. He roughs it in for the electrician.
No. I'm well aware. I'm just going to trust my electricity to the carpenter, dude. Wood, electricity, same shit.
Really, what's the worst that could happen?
But Can we like
he
back
has
up for a
never
second?
once had an electrical issue.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
No, there's no
either that
spraying
or-
water in outlets or anything.
There's
No.
other than
electrical
the
issues here.
water, it wasn't my fault. Everything.
Do you
else,
know
I
you have
fucking-
made me so paranoid, and I never have.
Other
I
than
did
the
not
cause,
realize
it wasn't my fault.
I like used to foiler spray and do all sorts of stuff, and not care about what was exposed or any outlets. I just kind of sprayed. I figured, you know what, my extension cord sits outside during winter. Who the fuck cares?
Mm-hmm.
But now you have me so scared. I'm pulling out all my plant, like when I have my solos and stuff. I'm pulling them
You
out
leave
to
your
spray
extension
them and
cord
put them
sitting
back
out
in.
during winter. Like
What?
you leave an extension cord sitting outside plugged in during winter.
Like a good
Christmas
old
lights.
Midwestern
Yeah.
boy, yes.
Hell
Do
yeah,
you
dude, we
also
got
leave your
Christmas lights all
fucking
year
garden
long.
hose? Do you leave your garden hose attached to your spigot and leave your spigot
No.
on?
Not in the winter.
I
We're
really-
not that dumb, okay? Electricity
I had
is
a burst,
cool,
yeah.
but you do not want pipe bursting in your house,
No,
all right?
I had that happen
So
once.
no, I do. I have like the frost-free out the faucets with the little styrofoam cap that
Yeah,
goes over
okay.
them. Like it's all good. Electricity is cool though. Like I don't give a shit if it's a puddle or not.
Yeah, but
Whatever.
not in your tent. Not in your tent.
Not in the tent.
All those extension cords and shit. I figure a way.
I actually-
have now since figured a way to get them motherfuckers
in the
outside
Peach
of my
Limon
tent.
tent because she got wide, so I have the long strip in the corner. I actually held a bin lid as I was doing a foliar, so it did not get on it. Like you have me that paranoid. Like I can't do it. No,
I just
it was a good
and then
lesson.
It made me just it's high humidity and shit in there too. Like it just any open connection is with the amount of humidity in a tent. Any open, it's just gonna create a situation that is gonna create an arc.
I even pulled out my.
bound.
I usually use a tower fan in the 3x3 because it just covers like the zones really nice in that tent. But it got too humid, and with me spraying and stuff, I'm like, I don't need to be spraying that thing too, so it's out. That's why I bought the extra AC Infinity fan. Yeah, you got me really paranoid about spraying shit, man. It's terrible.
Or maybe
That's
appropriately
perfect.
paranoid.
I'm getting those little like fire extinguisher balls that you see. Like I've seen some videos about, and put them like above every tent.
There you go.
It's really smart. Or those like get a Google Nest and chuck it in your grow room.
I just bought the X-Zone smoke alarms. So they all like wireless, they mesh, and then they'll alert my phone, and they all make a sound if something's going on. I did because of you.
Listen, there's
I
a
bought all
reason.
these.
There's a reason that we don't pay for fire services. It's the only services that are free. Like think about it.
Where?
Everywhere.
Where?
Every fire
Here?
department, every fire
Free fire.
department is tax free. Like it's part
What?
of the fucking bill.
No,
Whereas yeah, dude.
not here.
Fire. Yes, fire is different.
I mean, besides when the school district gets done with like 80% of my taxes, there is some that goes to public services like
Yeah.
EMT and fire departments.
Yes, there is some, but fire
Oh.
across the board unanimous is the only one that is 100%. It's like American.
Yeah, I
did
mean, you don't
something
get
back in
charged
the
for
day,
it.
and
Like
No,
ambulance
nobody
services,
does.
right? Ambulance
what I mean,
services,
yeah,
you get
it's
charged
all
for.
Ambulance, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Emergency room and that sort of thing. You get
I
charged
saw something
for.
cool. Speaking of fire
Yeah,
trucks, I was
fire is the
picking
only one that.
I was picking up my kid from Midway last night because he was coming back from
That's a
Florida.
long fucking trip.
From
What happened to your
Midway?
mic?
Midway?
No,
You unplugged your mic.
Nah, it's
No, I
closer,
didn't.
dude. He
Not
doesn't
you.
know about it.
all right.
It's our secret airport, bro.
So I thought I was parked in the White Castle parking lot that's right near the airport, and I was thinking, oh man, what are they burning in there? You see just these like smoke bombs coming off. So I decided to drive around it. There's like a van right there with the whole front like bursting into flames. People are just watching it. I'm like, I got to get out of here.
That's
like, this thing is
Southside
gonna
right
go
there.
up. Yeah, that is South. I mean, that is like
Southside.
Chicago, like
Yeah.
typical 10 o'clock at night situation, no problem. And you even see like the fire truck come, and like they don't have any urgency about this. They're just like, yeah, it's normal.
there.
We'll just put it out for you. You go deal
Rev,
with it.
Rev, have you ever seen a palm tree on fire?
Yes, multiple.
Oh.
We have wildfires all the time.
No shit. Oh, I
White
know
palm-
about yeah.
White palm
Yeah.
trees. Is there something about
White
those?
I don't know.
They explode
Apparently,
at the
it's a
top.
thing on TV. Like when everybody who
get-
moves to LA or something, you're not a true LAian or something until you've seen
Well,
a palm
if
tree on
it's-
fire.
Well, first of all,
Interesting.
how fucking dare you? I hate LA, and you should know that. The only thing I like about Los Angeles is the Lakers, my friend. No, palm trees, they have a bunch of palm oil and shit in the in the top, so you've got that long trunk and it goes up, and they get really hot and they'll explode. So they'll be burning and you'll get explosions of oil and shit.
Oh my.
Also, they're not native, like the ones that you see everywhere in Hollywood and shit are native to California. We have our own native palm tree, but it's much smaller. But don't ever tell me LA, New York City boy.
I wasn't calling you LA. I was saying it was something about like it was TV show. That's why I was just asked if you had.
No.
I know.
I was making a joke because Alabrije just announced he's doing his second birthday pop-up in LA September 21st. So I expect all three of you or all four of you guys are going to fly out to over here, right?
I do not travel to California anymore.
Yeah.
Work does not demand it. I do not go anymore. Sorry.
Come on, man. You don't.
Florida and California are the two states I hate the most. Not despite some of the people that live there. I hate those fucking states.
No, it's okay. I agree with you 100%.
I've lived in both. What does that say?
Oh, what?
We know
That's
what
why
that
you're this
says
way.
about you,
I knew you weren't true Midwestern. Come on.
I escaped and came back, dude.
Before we talk more about fire services and taxes, I have a question to ask all you beautiful people.
Yes, I will.
I think your mic's unplugged, dude. I think your mic came unplugged or something. It transitioned.
Rev, right? He's a little far. It sounds a little.
Yeah,
far
it sounds like his mic came unplugged. Yeah. I just want to hear his.
Better now.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there's a sexy voice.
So, just for the record, when you kept saying, "I think your mic's unplugged," you couldn't once just say, "Hey, you Rev," or name who.
I thought it was me. I thought he
I know.
I
did say no, not. I think I did say no, not you, Howling.
Well, I didn't hear that. My apologies. I was just like, oh, yeah, weird. It was turned on. Anywho, so my question. I'm super glad I didn't have to talk about my garden this time. So I didn't.
So you're gonna start now.
Yeah, no. We're not done.
Too late. I was got a question for you guys. No.
You didn't manage your time appropriately. That's not our problem.
How is this my fault?
How does he run a factory? What the fuck?
Wait, a factory. That's generous. I will take it. No. We'll talk. We'll save it for another day when I have something interesting to talk about. But I have a question.
Oh, you have ants. Come on.
No.
Okay. About the ants.
Fine. I will. It says
there's
the
a
man
learning
yelling.
experience here.
So, welcome to my presentation on why I absolutely hate the country of Argentina right now. No offense to anyone living in that beautiful country. And no, it's what's funny is I think I had a cousin who went on a mission to Argentina, which is just the most Mormon sentence I've ever said. So I had an infestation of ants in my one earth box.
Oh my God, it sounds like the worst Christmas ever.
Yeah, what a wonderful thing to wake up to. I think I discovered it slightly after getting back from moving more shit out of my deceased uncle's house and slightly before Megan went into the hospital. So it was a really good sandwich of good stuff, those bastard ants. So because I can only hold.
Wait, I'm lost now because we're transitioning between uncles and aunts and.
I know. That was it.
And by ants, we're not talking about Argentinians. No, we're talking about actual small insects.
My uncle.
Not some sort of slang name for Argentinians.
No, that's just how we say it in California. My uncle's deceased. He's my aunt.
He's my aunt now.
He's my aunt. No, and
he's infesting my.
I noticed that I had these little weird fucking ants in my soil, and I'm like, well, that can't be good, right? So I'm doing some, like research on it more. Like, okay, how big of a problem is this, and how am I going to fix this, right? Mostly small soil ants. Really, the biggest issue you have to worry about is that they'll farm aphids. on your plant. So you just have to treat the aphids and eventually they'll go away and they can't establish it, right? Or you can poison your house and they'll take it back to their colony and kill them. Well, I looked at more research because these are tiny ants, right? You can barely see them. And I was doing more research, and it just so happened that I live in Southern California, which is currently a huge spot for an invasive ant species called the Argentine ant. Which, some fun facts about the Argentine ant: they get, the biggest they get is like an eighth of an inch. They're pretty small. They have multiple queens, like thousands of queens, and they all belong to the same super colony. So you can't kill a colony and get rid of the ants because they're all one massive colony. They don't compete within the species. They very much enjoy the climate of Southern California because it's dry and arid, kind of like they like dry soil, ironically. And yeah, so they're all the super colony and stuff like that, but they're out competing our native ants, and our lizards won't eat them. So our lizard populations are starving if they're not eating, the ants that they actually get. So it's all kinds of fun. All of the negative consequences aside, they were in my fucking earth boxes, and like again, I was like, I only saw a couple of them, and I'm going, okay, I'm going to treat this. We'll see what happens, because everything for ants is they don't like wet environments. So I figured, once I get the res going, they're going to bail anyway, and I'll deal with it then. Except for the fact that despite everything that I read, they ate my seedling. They said, oh no, don't worry. They won't eat your seedlings. It's not a big deal. No, it ate every bit of green, right? Further research, a couple, hours into it, I find that they will take green leaf material to take it to insulate wherever their nest is in the soil. So, okay, that was one.
Eat it or not, you still fucking did.
Yeah,
still
didn't help my seedling. Yeah, Jesus. So that was the first one that was gone, and
I
that
guess
was
specify your fucking Google searches, because Google doesn't know what the fuck you mean.
Literally, I thought I was insane for the first hour of Google searching, because I'm like, I none of these ants exist. I can't find this ant, and then of course I found this invasive thing, and then I just started going deep in the rabbit hole of where they are, and they're spreading like crazy too. Like they're in almost every port city, the majority of port cities, not almost all of them. But
so you're saying living near the ocean has detrimental effects?
Oh, I will never
That's
stop
all I hear.
complaining about the negative side effects of living next to the ocean. Unfortunately, like a true addict, I can't leave. My God, they've got me by the balls in the wallet already. Anyhow, yeah. So nothing, nothing prepares you for that when you really are like, okay, I got to deal with this now. I can't wait because in theory, they prefer drier soil. So once the res starts filling up and the earth box is moving, they will move on, in theory. But I didn't have time to get there because I kept eating my goddamn seedlings and everything like that. So I dumped one of the boxes into a tote, and I said, I'm going to fucking quarantine that, and I will deal with that later. I noticed in the other two boxes, one of the earth boxes got up, seedling was fine. The other earth box, it ate my Frogception V2. It ate one of the leaves and like all the new leaf, but kept one. So she's still up there. I was kind of hoping that she would bounce back, but I've planted another one because she's just a goner. Not enough solar panels, So I put DE on top of the soil immediately to just get the seedlings going and stuff. And I ordered nematodes, but nematodes they take like 3 to 7 days. They don't ship on Thursdays or Fridays or Monday, all kinds of stuff. So you kind of have to get there frozen. I applied that, and 24 hours passed, still seeing some. 48 hours passed, still seeing some. And ironically, I'm thinking, damn, I'm going to have to dose it again. And I haven't seen them. So I might have done it, and I sprayed the fucking shit ton out of the tote, and so it looks like it worked so far. I mean, terrible news for the environment outside of my tent, but for me personally, the tent might be cured right now, so that's good. Yeah, so it's an interesting
What are the chances
pest.
they'll come back? Like,
I think it's.
does this
I
have
think
to
it's
add
gonna
on to
happen.
your list of like spider mites,
Constant,
thrips,
exactly.
Yeah,
Argentinian ants?
And yeah,
I honestly, I think it is.
aphids.
I think if I want to keep like because I grow in a garage and because I live in an apartment community where I can't completely control every aspect of like what comes in and what comes out. Like I can't really because there's ways to treat it with nematodes where I could spray the whole area and then do diatomaceous earth around the entrance. There's like I've looked into ways to where I can, if I had my own property and land, I could somewhat battle them, but it's a losing battle. They're so invasive that it's just going to kind of have to become, oh shit, they're back. I'm going to have to get some nematodes, like it's
Time
an
to order
unfortunate.
ladybugs.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Yeah.
My
so-
fucking.
Well, and I mean, to be honest, I could, if I wanted to, and I could go and be, fuck it, I'm just doing cocoa and go sterile, but that's not who I am. And then I could also just use new soil every round. But again, that's just needlessly wasteful in my opinion, right? So I'm just going to keep riding with it and maybe, dump it if I have to. I'll probably restart if these nematodes don't do well. I will probably get fresh soil and dump all the shit that I've lost outside.
So if you're reusing the soil, if you inoculate with those nematodes, like how long will that colony last? Once they're in there, they're kind of in there, aren't they?
Yeah. But there's a lot that kills them, right? Like, so UV light is super negative towards it. And then if you don't have wet enough soil, so that was a big negative too, is to treat nematodes correctly, you have to have wet soil. And when you've only got a couple day old seedlings, you can't just be like, sorry, motherfucker, and spray down a gallon, in the earth box. So it's a delicate dance because I have to make sure it's wet enough to treat with nematodes, but also not kill what I have because that would suck.
Yeah. Fuck, dude.
Yeah, and we all know how much diatomaceous earth sucks too. So it's not a pleasant thing to. I'm such a clumsy motherfucker that there's diatomaceous earth all over everywhere. Shit's on the ceiling.
Like a 7-year-old with powdered donuts.
Yeah, it's.
I just picture Rev like a chick in the 30s in the powder room, just. Poof, poof, poof.
Oh yeah, it was like every like cokehead's fantasy in real life, except for I was like, no.
Little Argentinians cutting rails down the road.
Yeah, exactly. No, and you know what was super funny is I laid out that diatomaceous earth, and it's a bitch to deal with, and I'm not going to go into it because everyone knows it, but I got it all scraped off, and then you look at just below the surface, all the ants were just like moved down a half an inch, and they're chilling. You're like, you mother, all for naught, But it's all pretty much life. So, yeah, that's my garden. I'm just gonna end with fuck Argentine ants. And it upsets me because I don't ever want to learn. I'm not a huge insect guy. I don't like it.
It's a great
I don't
country. They have great
ever
food.
really want to know that much about ants.
The pampas.
Yeah, and
ranges.
the beef is supposed to be out of this world.
And little tiny ants that just ruin your fucking garden.
But I will forever know them for one thing and one thing only. And I'm kidding, all my Argentine friends. My name is Johnny Apple.
All 0 of you.
Yes. Now, thank you for making me relive that terrible, terrible moment. My question for all you, my friends, if you have to feed a medium-sized group, not overly large, medium size being like maybe a max of 10. What's your go-to feeding 10 people for a game or something like that? Howling.
How have I been the first pick for everything you fucking come up with?
You're the VIP.
Because
so I'm thinking, okay, so I am typically the person that brings some of the appetizers for things like Super Bowl and like family events. Absolutely, there has to be a barbecue component. Usually, it's ribs. Do a few slabs of ribs, and that makes some people happy as a little appetizer. But I'm usually the ribs, buffalo chicken dip, like meatball type guy. Like that's usually I bring for 10 people. Other than that, if I'm cooking like a dinner, it's absolutely a roast and it's a specific roast. It's from a place called Jack and Pat's. That's about 15 minutes from me. This like old school butcher shop. And so they take kind of like a shit. I'm getting scared because Stoney's going to call me out on this, but it's like maybe
this question feels very much Stoney designed.
Shit. I'm trying to think of what to call this roast, but the roast itself is pretty lean. But what they do is to take a fat cap and tie it around it, and so you roast that at like 250 degrees for a few hours. And then the key is I purposely bought a meat cutter. Whatever, like those deli meat cutters or whatever, do slices of beef.
I'm not sure that hand motion was meat cutter, sir. Yeah, I got the meat cutter.
I got the meat cutter.
Yep. I want to point out before you beat up the question too much, Howling. I asked what was your go-to to feed like 10. You went cook them dinner and got worried about Stoney. Your easy out could have just been like ribs. Yeah. So
no. That's what you have to give. I thought
people were gonna say pizza or some shit.
Hey, listen, fucking Midwest.
You think this is bad? Wait till Stoney goes. This is poetry from Howling.
Oh God, I thought about Stoney last night. So I'm rewatching the Anthony Bourdain Parts Unknown series.
Great one.
And I like his storytelling and his friend. Now I can't remember his name. The French dude, Rupert.
Eric Rupert.
There we go. He says that he has no less than a 50-50 ratio of potatoes to butter when he makes mashed potatoes. I'm like, holy shit, it's Stoney. I'm like, oh, here we go.
Not just me.
It is such a French thing. And anyways, no, this is just the way it is. It's like, if I'm going to feed you, I'm going to fucking feed you. You're going to eat. And so, no, there's no this like light meal or something, or I'm bringing a little pasta salad or something. Like, you're going to fucking get a belly after this. And so, yeah, it's more than just a slab of ribs. There's something more. And so usually it's ribs or something barbecue, or if I'm doing it inside, it's a roast. And it's that particular roast that has the fat cap tight on the outside and slow cooked for a long time to medium rare. Yeah, it works out well. Yeah, I like it.
You portray yourself as an introvert until it comes to barbecue time.
Beer, barbecue.
Blonde.
No, that's it. Beer, barbecue. You got it.
That's it.
Yes.
And now I want to entertain the whole fucking neighborhood, man. Come over. Yeah. I got you.
And I'm usually that way at like gatherings and stuff. Like if they don't talk about plants, barbecue, or beer, I'm usually pretty quiet. The moment someone says something, it's like I chime in and say, "Oh, wait a minute, you're my friend." Hey.
There you go.
Yeah, it's just the way it is.
I'm gonna go, Johnny. Johnny, tell me your 8-course meal now, please. Break it down one by one.
So I'm a simple kind of guy, if you can believe it or not. I am very fond of my crock pot when it comes to big doses of fucking people. So what I normally do is take a pork shoulder and a fucking 2-liter of root beer and fucking turn the crock pot on and then strain that out and fucking barbecue it up when it's done and fucking pulled pork sandwiches, buddy. That's super fucking easy and Bob's your uncle.
I'm going to have to share something with you about a recipe like that. And yeah, anyways.
I used to do a Dr. Pepper short rib.
Hey.
Dr. Pepper and molasses and sherry vinegar and caramelized onions. And I would braise that shit down to the short rib.
Well, you had a chef. Yes, I get it.
You can't ruin the people who go before you.
Okay, sorry.
It's horseshit. We were all going to get out of the way and let you finish with something sweet.
No.
Go ahead.
You asked a food question.
G3. I mean,
again, they're all food questions.
It's bait. It's G3. You're next. You're next, G3.
My go-to is baked ravioli. It's fast and easy.
With the little crispy edges to the noodles.
Yeah. Use like 2 or 3 types of cheese with it. Throw in a big ass salad and garlic bread. Can't go wrong.
Oh, that I know.
I can feed 2. I can feed 200.
Brilliant. Mine is tacos. I would either have some, if in an ideal world, hire a taco lady, have her do everything.
The one thing the guy doesn't want to do himself.
Yeah, I do all the cooking. You know how nice it would be to have someone else do it for once. But easy is just any kind of taco, right? Like you said, crock pot, boom. But Stoney, lecture us on how to properly do it.
Carnitas.
So I start with 5 pounds of butter and 3 pounds of lard.
Carnitas. Where the same thing. You could do the same thing with the fucking pork shoulder.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
same thing. You
Yeah.
just make that recipe and then you crisp it up in the fucking broiler, buddy. Yeah,
Mhm.
carnita.
Yeah.
That's another one I do too. Carnita. It's a pork shoulder. You could do so much with it. And then sometimes if you make barbecue with it the first day, you can fucking make carnitas or pork tacos with it the next day, dude.
Stuff it into a steam bun and make a steam bun the next day.
Have we gotten you to talk more about food than the chef?
There we go.
Because you're going off about this food, and I love it.
Well, I was a
Talk about a pork
army
shoulder.
cook.
It's like Bubba Gump pork shoulder here.
Uncle Sam's personal chef. Come on, put some respect on your name.
It is like dueling chefs over here.
There's apparently
bet you it's
3 of
not.
them when it
Poetry
comes to
is
barbecue, baby.
Poetry's afoot. I'm telling you that.
I tend to be a victim of over planning for things that I cook for. Yeah,
The hell you say?
It's a.
I couldn't possibly.
It's a bad. Whether I'm cooking it here or whether I'm traveling somewhere, I tend to take everything with me. But if it's a meal for 10 people, almost always I'm going to lay out some meat and cheese into a charcuterie platter. I'm going to throw some bread and some crackers out just to start to get the conversation going. If I can get some like pimento spread or something along that lines, I'll throw that out there. Some Merc, some beer cheese or something in there just for fun. Always a conversation starter. And then I tend to do multiple courses, usually some sort of an appetizer. I like to do shared things, so things that I can just put out onto a plate and people can start grabbing things and noshing and chunks of cheeses and breads and grilled things. And then there's usually some sort of a main course entree of sorts that's a bigger focus, but it usually has some sort of a veg component to it. And then I always love to finish off with something sweet that I don't have to do too much with. So it's usually baking something ahead of time, or sometimes it's just like laying out a bunch of different really cool cookies that are my favorite. But it's typically a coursed meal throughout.
You gave us no solid answer there.
Holy
What's
hell.
your entree? What's your entree?
I mean, it's just meat. Meat in general. I mean, it depends on the season. I mean, if it's a group of people and it's wintertime, I love braising.
Of course, oh my god! Of course, you said it's in season.
Yeah, I mean that's the hard part is I don't really have a go-to.
He's like, look, I'm going to market, man. Whatever the fucking butcher has.
Well, and sometimes it's the weather too, right?
The butcher's word.
What's in season in the Midwest?
I could walk and stick my head up the bull's ass, but I'm gonna.
Stoney, it might be to normal people, but to some people like me, I'm making that regardless of the fucking season or the weather. No. And I just hope it works out.
Yeah, no.
Chef's answer versus everyone else's.
Yeah, a lot of it just depends on the weather and what the occasion is, and because sometimes I just want to fire up the grill and stand out on the grill and grill things and have all sorts of like a mixed grilled meats and that sort of stuff that comes off, and you can just nosh off of a cutting board. And I'll have to do like baked beans or something like that, and some different slaws and whatever. So you can just pile them up. But it depends on the party. It depends on who it's with. I mean, if it's someone that I want to sit down and really spend some time with and create a nice little meal with and go delicately in all the courses and take leaves apart and create delicate salads with it, then I'll take that.
So you don't try to feed them to shut them up and get out earlier. You actually try to prolong this?
Yeah, because that's where I'm the most comfortable is when I'm cooking.
Where I'm going wrong. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm gonna,
Tony, do you know what salt potatoes are?
As in when you cook them like completely encased in salt?
Nope.
No.
So it's a very central New York fucking thing, and so they harvest these tiny little fucking remember big bouncy balls? They're about that size potatoes. Yeah. And then they give you a whole bag of fucking salt inside of these fucking little bags of potatoes. You boil these motherfuckers heavy in salt water, and then you soak them in butter, man.
Oh,
sounds fucking delicious. You got to have melted butter in a jar.
Butter,
so
salt.
we have little dishes, and then we fucking fill them with melted butter. So when the salt potatoes are done, you fucking crunch them up and you soak them in your butter, and that's how you fucking.
I think you just made my heart monitor go off a little
I
bit.
know. I was gonna say.
It's a very
good.
local, but they do it even at the state fair here. So when you come to the state fair in
Interesting.
New York, get the fucking salt potatoes, man. Yeah,
Because I've done like salt crusted fish and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Where you create a paste out of egg whites and salt, and literally encase so that it steams inside of it.
I know these are very specific. I don't know where
and I've seen
they
that
even
potatoes
get
is where
these
it's
fucking.
going.
They must get them from fucking Boise. Maybe that's their reason for Boise is for New York to get their little fucking tiny fucking salt potatoes.
There's a breed that they call them the German butterballs, and they are tiny, like what you're talking about. And they are just they're like uber yellow. Like they are what the Yukon Gold now once I think originally was in its heirloom state. So they're super kind of creamy. They're definitely waxy, but have just the right amount of starch balance in them. So they are like poppable. Oh man, those are really good. Those little German butterballs, skin on.
Are they
and
yellow?
Fry
So
them.
these are white.
Yeah. They're like starchy white.
Yeah, they are yellow.
German butterballs are little like they're the color of yellow butter.
And
How
it very well could be because we have.
How
Have
did
you
my
heard of
question
Hoffman's?
turn into salt potatoes?
Have you heard of Hoffman hot dogs?
No, tell me.
So it's a very German. So it makes sense that the salt potatoes, it's a German thing. So Hoffman hot dogs is just a fucking local hot dog brand, but they're huge. Like anybody who moves away from central New York craves Hoffman hot dogs and fucking salt potatoes during the summer. It's one of those things.
Seasonal thing. See,
Yeah.
so
During the summer, you load up on salt potatoes. That's an interesting. And okay.
Well, it's probably fall. It's more of a fall.
I was
going to
say, isn't mashed potatoes more of like a
it's a
winter
harvest
dish, I
time,
guess?
obviously.
Yeah. I imagine being like going down to the beach and be like, hey, before we paddle out, guys, you guys want to down some fucking mashed potatoes and fucking salt water? What a lovely beach day.
Pretty much what a crab boil is.
Man. Different facts. Yeah, but yeah. Interesting. Well,
so there's your party for 10, brother.
Yeah, I just was realizing that I think I would be literally your worst dinner guest because I completely
You'd be
go quiet.
You would have the most amazing fucking tacos. See, that's the thing is,
I know I would.
Like if you're coming, you're not Dr. Pepper braising short ribs and a mashed potato.
No. The food is all wonderful.
We're going fucking tacos, dude.
I'm saying that your idea is like, I'd cook and we'd have a conversation. Like when there's food, I'm just housing it and we can talk after. So if you're just like bringing out, like we're gonna have this, and then an hour later that I'm just like, nah, man.
You're talking have an open kitchen where your guests are
like
right there at a bar and you're sitting there.
You're usually sitting right in front of me, and I'm just like cooking and plating right in front of you and finishing sauces and that sort of stuff.
I picture you getting in your comfort zone and that type of word.
Mm-hmm. And then I can walk you. Then I've got you captive for like 2-3 hours. You know, in a meal like that, and I can carry the conversation.
Then you're fucking full and get the fuck out. So you're working yourself through. You're a guest over. Yeah, I got it, dude.
And then by the
why I always work the grill.
That's why when I said when I get to dessert, because I'm usually cleaning up by then, and it's just easier for me to like put out a little sweet dessert, and my adrenaline's usually pumping, or I'm usually eating the leftovers at that point. So.
Well, I can see people enjoying that, but 3 hours of a meal and I would be pulling what little hair I have out of.
Oh no, you wouldn't, dude. I'd keep you occupied the whole time, brother.
What do we got left? Plugs?
Yes. Now, this time, someone's gonna give me something. I swear we can't all go on negative. You have one, Stoney?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna start with Johnny. Johnny, what's your plug?
He just said he had one.
You weren't paying attention, dude. You were pouring a drink. I had to. Stoney, what's your plug?
If you haven't had a chance to subscribe to the Howlingbuds zine, go and subscribe to it. It's probably one of the coolest pieces of our community that's coming out right now. There are food recipes in there. There are edible recipes in there. You get stories. You get information. He's been doing travel logs. If you have not signed up for these, go and sign up for them. He's been releasing them pretty regularly, and they are super cool. Tons of information, really cool format to just quickly go through on your phone or on your computer. Great imagery. Silly folks for interviews. Not sure what this one was about.
His choice in grower features is leave something to be desired.
Future months.
Time out.
Ignore this one.
Time out.
Time out. I agree with that point, and I agree with Howling's point, and G3 can chime in too. I gave nothing but love to my bald-headed best friend, and he shits on me.
Indeed.
I told the world that I could spend a month in your arms.
And I think it's amazing that you let the world see you and you have a shirt on.
Wait a minute. He goes, I think in that same paragraph, it said something like, I would go to New York and see my bald-headed friend, but then I would spend a month somewhere else. It's like, wait a minute, what?
He said he would spend a month in your arms, man.
Yeah, I said specifically your arms.
Euphoria?
Oh.
I said I could get lost in those arms, and
I stopped. I had to stop reading for a little bit after that.
Because you were throwing up a little bit. Did you throw up a little in your mouth?
Gotcha. You envisioned what would just be love. You know what?
Soft music, wind blowing through Rev's hair.
I've been trying to win one of you, and I haven't been able to do it yet.
Man. You don't play.
I just see like a romance novel holding Johnny with the wind swept blowing in his hair.
This
episode is brought to you by Wind. Yeah.
Yes, please check out Alabrie's zine. Well, I don't know why I called it zine. Jesus, I'm exhausted. But skip this month. He's done some good ones, and then he did this one, which was anywho. Johnny, I've given you enough time. What's your plug?
Grateful Nerd, man. They're doing a giveaway over on their Instagram. Go check them out. Also support Nama Potter if you can too. So she's got some great pottery, and I think we still got a couple more Yag cups. So hit me up if you're hearing this in time. There might be
wonderful
a couple left.
Get them all.
Howling.
2 plugs. One, just to piggyback on that, the Nama Potter thing. I sent a picture of the mug. It's funny because my wife was saying when she gets back, she's going to sage herself and my son and sage everything. And I bought her the mug that says there's not enough sage for this shit. And I'm like, this is just the perfect thing. I had to send her a picture. I'm like, I was going to give it as a surprise gift. I'm like, I have to show you this. And so that just fits. So, and it's a really nice mug. She loves it. At least from the picture, she loves it. I'm sure she'll love it in person. But my other plug is the community. When Drowsy dropped and I missed it, for good reasons, I missed it. Everyone reached out to offer me seeds and said, you can't miss out on this one. And I totally love that. But what really gets me is that through some kind of fucking luck, planets aligning, it looks like I'm going to get a whole Drowsy pack, pin and all. That kind of worked out well for me. I love my bearded friend across the country, and I love my German down under friend for making it work. And it looks like I might get a whole pack. And it's just, I didn't ask them to; they just offered and worked it out. And I love it. I'm thankful. I cannot express how much gratitude.
Super cool, dude.
That's so cool. I will say though, as much as our community rocks, when they help you, they hurt me. So they're kind of.
I can't wait for the season abroad.
Don't be a dick. Mind your own business. How does this go? Isn't there a fucking and you're totally dick in the what a dick.
Just something about that. G3. Before I will give you the last word, I'm going to plug. Dinosaur in our community sent me his mother culture, and I started fermenting with that. And he sent me some IMO 2 and some leaf mold and stuff, so I could get started making my own IMO in my apartment. So super rad dude, really just a great guy to have around, and super glad he found, like you said, the community. He's one that likes to help though, instead of tear down and help Howling. G3, thank you for joining us again. Do you have anything to plug?
I will plug the same thing I always plug. I have a podcast. You should come and listen to it. Honestly.
Yes, you should.
I think
we're
most of Yeah.
We're all upset. we're like we're going through withdrawals.
Yeah, we're on hiatus right now, but we had to take a break.
Temporarily.
Temporary. We shall be back June 25th. So Tuesdays, 8:30.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, YouTube, Twitch, all that good stuff. So yeah,
Well, I guess I won't need this
Cultivation
then.
Conversation.
Oh wait,
Myself
you didn't quit?
She didn't. No,
That was
we
the
can delete
rumor.
that one.
Okay.
It's just a rumor. So
She
far.
didn't accept the
Allegedly.
contract that we sent. Apparently, she requires payment. Who knew?
There's negotiations.
She was a free agent for never, but we tried. They got us for tampering, and we're broke.
Yep, I was free for like a month. But
yeah, but we're excited for you to come back, and thank you so much again for joining us, all of you, Johnny, Stoney, Howling, G3. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Get fucked.
Thanks for listening,
Later, people.
everybody.
Thanks for digging what we do.
Peace.